Tarkir Dragonstorm has been lucky enough to catch the hype train. Players are excited for this product, and now we get to start looking at the spoilers. Well, before we get to that, let's take a look at those collector boxes, those one and done products, and let's give you some information you need to know before this product releases. Just how badly do you want to get your hands on a box of Tarkir Dragonstorm collector boosters? How popular is this product going to be? How much of the lore of Tarkir is in the psyche of Magic players? How's the mass appeal of this product? We are going to talk about it in today's video. It's a fascinating topic. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me today for another video. Now, in case you guys didn't know, Tarkir, back in the day, 2014, it was a 3-block set. We had Khans of Tarkir, then we had the Dragons of Tarkir, like an alternate timeline. The humans are winning, the dragons are winning, and then we have the new Forged timeline called Fate Reforged. Amazing time to be in Magic. The lore was just abound, people were having a blast, we loved the pre-release, and then it was forgotten, and everything moved on, and the world has changed. Fast forward to 2025, 2024, 2023, whatever. Universes Beyond becomes a thing. I just told you Tarkir was a 1.5 year time period. 3-block set. 1.5 years, right? Maybe that. Mentioned once in a while in lore. Something like Final Fantasy has been around for 20 plus years. It's got a fan base. So how much appeal can there really be for an in-house IP when faced off against something like Final Fantasy? Now, the prices, of course, do not match up. Final Fantasy is just blowing itself out of the water. The prices are going through the roof. It's going through the stratosphere. And I don't see anything dragging that down anytime soon for those collector boxes. Now, when you look at Tarkir Dragonstorm, though, the initial collector box is sold out. The stores that had allocated numbers up, that took the risk and put them up there, gone. Well, that's a little bit different. That is a conversation to be had because collector boxes do not sell out at release. They're very expensive. They're very pricey. Why? How? What? Who wants them that badly? Well, there's two parts to that conversation right there. Number one, we know collector boxes don't come around again. Wizards tightened up the production run, making them a lot harder to get your hands on. We saw it with Bloomborough. When they're gone, they're gone. Get ready for it, boys and girls. They're just not available. Wizards has found the collectible market, and they're unlikely to want to damage that. So if you're a Tarkir fan, of course, you're paying close attention. And when you saw those pre-orders go up and they disappeared, you went on the Fomo train. Many players did, saying, what happened? I wanted to get some Tarkir Drag. Did you see that, Greg? I saw that, Timmy. They're gone. A lot of smaller stores only had 6 boxes on allocation. That's all they thought they were going to get, and they were done. Bigger stores may have put up 6, 10, 12, gone, same day. I did a video on that. We talked about them already being sold out and how players lost their minds. Well, here we are a couple of weeks later. 20 days is a long time in the world of Magic the Gathering nowadays, where anything can happen. So what happened now? Well, first let's take a look at where things are going. Let's take a look at TCG Player here, a very large market. Here on TCG Player, you can see this shot is taken 3/17/25. So that's March 17th, 2025. This is the spoiler week we're going to see for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Players are super psyched. Stores can't wait to see what's going to happen. And Mox Jasper is like the conversation, the belle of the ball. When you look at all these things, unopened boxes selling, $259, $259, $259, you can kind of get an idea of where this price is going. Now, of course, these are US prices taken from tcgplayer.com. So you guys know where they came from now. Now, I told you they all sold out in Canada, right? Like we couldn't find any. Well, things have changed. I guess allocation numbers started to appear and they knew exactly what they're getting, so they started throwing up boxes online. Here you can see 10 plus boxes available for $369.95 Canadian. This is Canadian pricing. If you're in the US, you would take around 40% off, and that would give you the rough estimate price of what you would pay. Now, this made me very curious. I'll be honest, I'm a curious cat. I want to know what's going on. Little cats and dogs secret lair comment in there? Yeah, the dog one looks better. You guys saw that Chaos Orb pillow, right? Epic. I'm still not going to buy that one, but it's very cute. But it made me wonder what's going on. When I saw those boxes, guys said, who else got boxes then? So I jumped across and took a look at another store. And this store had 15 up for sale for $379.99. Okay, so their allocation numbers were higher. This store originally had 12, I think, up, and they're gone. They got in there 15. Okay, this product ships to Canada only, so you can't have it shipped over the border, but it stands as a reason that other stores might be getting some. Now, here's the good news and the bad news. The bigger stores definitely have larger allocations. They have a lot more coming in, and it looks like they feel safe putting these numbers up. The smaller stores are still one and done. They got 6, that's all they're getting. They got 8, they got 12, they got 16. If they think it's coming in, that's what they put up for sale. And a few stores I know are still keeping a couple of boxes for the store just to sell individual packs to people who can't afford to buy a box. That makes perfect sense to me. This is still going to be a hard to get product, because even with those numbers there, 15, 20, 30, 50 boxes, that's not a lot in a huge Magic market. And that huge Magic market is going to gobble that up. Just like it did with Bloomborough, it is going to disappear at some point, sooner rather than later. Karlov Manor, the Crimson Bow kind of set, this is not the same world, okay? Those collector boxes didn't have that same appeal. Although there's certain cards in there that are great, it doesn't have that mass market appeal. This, again, is not going to be Outlaws of Thunder Junction, pretty good set. It is not going to be Duskmourn. It's not the Ghostbuster wannabe. There are some great cards in these sets, but they don't have that appeal to drag in people to buy lots of boxes. I look at this and I see the tightened allocation of these numbers being drawn in. Wizards has found that mass market collectible area of Magic the Gathering, where if they keep the numbers tight enough, they're going to sell a lot of these boxes, especially if they put a few unique cards to be found, serialized autographs or otherwise, if that's the place the whales go to buy the cards. And I used to say to you guys that means the play booster boxes will be cheap. Well, that's not going to happen. Yes, the in-house IP worlds will be cheaper, but you can never compare an in-house IP versus the mass market appeal of a Universes Beyond. They are not on the same webpage. They are not the same thing. When you look at Magic the Gathering, and I'm a diehard fan, been playing the game since its inception. 30, 40 million people playing that game over that lifespan, 50, 60 million, is nothing compared to the video game army across the world, where the marketing was done so much better than what Wizards of the Coast does. It appealed to so many more people back in the day, and that is carried on through generations as these new games kept getting made. Same with Lord of the Rings. Its fans span decades with all kinds of media appeal, board games, puzzles, movies, all of it. Wizards is still kind of in their fledgling phase where they haven't gotten that part yet. That you need good lore, good story, so you can do films and movies and draw things in, get the toys in there. Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro is missing part of this. And yes, I'm off topic. But that's what happens when you look at products like this. It is going to be a good product. It is going to be available. It is just not going to be available as long as people think it will, now that they start seeing it appear at their local LGS level. That level of having it there at your store doesn't mean that everyone's going to get one. They're still going to sell out. I would not wait until 2 months from now to try buy one, because chances are it's not going to be there. And yeah, they're still a lot more expensive in Canada than they used to be. A few years ago, these were like a couple $100, $220. Look where they're at now. It's just not the same bag of chips. It is entirely different. A little bit of shrinkflation, a little bit of extra pricing and padding put in there. It's like air in the bag of the chips, where everyone says, oh, there's just less chips in here. It goes by the weight. That air is to protect the chips from breaking. Either way, I wanted to mention this to you guys in case you're looking for boxes. They are definitely appearing at the bigger stores, but not your smaller LGSs. They're getting what they're getting. They're one and done. The bigger stores are going to have some. Keep your eyes peeled. No, there'll be no discounts, no cheap prices on these things. They're going to sit there if they have to, because there's just not as many of them as there used to be to go around. And it does look like the bigger stores ask for more of the product, even without the pre-orders to back it up. They're willing to spend a few ducats to make sure they have some in the store in case players change their minds. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Thanks for being here with the Mox, man. Let me know, did you find some more at your store? Did you buy some boxes? Are you skipping? Going for the singles route? This is things we need to know about. Join the channel, join the comments, let me know what you think. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you guys all tomorrow with another video. Probably about spoilers, right? Probably some good spoilers to talk about. I hope so. See you then. Hey, a big thank you and a shout out to all the amazing patrons here on the channel. Without those patrons, daily uploaded content is not made possible. It's brought to you by S-Mart. Shop Smart, shop S-Mart. Your place to go for all of your daily needs. Check out the sporting goods department. There's a guy named Ash there. He's a really hard worker. He found a book once. I think he called it the Necronomicon Mortis or something. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You have your backstage pass. Can I see that? Please pull it out. I can wait. You have ID? Sorry, you're not old enough to ride this ride. Come back when you're finished your homework. Guys, it makes me wonder when you see the sales of some products like this. Tarkir Dragonstorm is going to have a really good sales record, okay? The initial run is going to be great. It's like the opening release of a really big movie, except for people didn't expect it to do quite as well as it's going to do initially. But now we're wondering how long that can go for, because there's some summer blockbusters coming up, like Final Fantasy. They're going to steal the show. But that doesn't mean that this one has to fade away or disappear. If they put some good cards, which we don't really know, I'm going to have high hopes, then maybe it'll have some longevity, a little bit of staying power. But I think Wizards needs to definitely delve into more of their own lore and flesh things out more, because it just helps them in the long run. If they write things like a giant storyboard movie thing, crossing multiple arcing stories and pathways to lead to something bigger, and they should have a plan on how that's going to look, because that's what assists in the really big money makers down the road. The Marvel Universe type stuff. They got to look big like that. Maybe not now. This could be 50 years from now by the time these movies could finally be made. Well, hopefully not that long. We'd be almost dead. Maybe like 20 years. Let me be around enough to enjoy it. But I want to see that stuff happen. But at the same time, the company's got to get on that, right? Tarkir is going to be popular. It has a good following from back in the day. And they may be able to broaden this stuff out if they do a good job. But often when they do this, like Return to Ravnica, Return to Ravnica, and the Kavnica of the Return, it doesn't go well. You know, so I kept saying Ravnica wrong. They ruined it. Don't ruin Tarkir for me, man. The story is lame, but the overall story is not horrible. So I'll have to wait and see. Give me some good dragons. And bring me back to Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast. If you're watching this, bring us back some D&D, but don't mess it up this time. So, Dragonlance, maybe? Lord Soth? Raceland Majir? Just Huma? Just saying.